everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and today we have my hashtag sew frosting reveal. So if any of you are aware, which I'm sure pretty much everyone in the sewing community has heard of the sew frosting challenge, Heather Lou of Closet Case Patterns and Kelly of True Bias put on a challenge of sewing frosting. And if you remember way back in the chronicles of, I think 2012, Tazia of Sewaholic had coined the term sewing cake and sewing frosting. Meaning cake were your practical items, things you wore every day and that kind of stuff, whereas frosting was more of the frivolous things that you would sew just because it's pretty and you can, and just to get those creative juices flowing. Well, Kelly and Heather had said, we've just, both of which own pattern companies that have tons of cake patterns, that we'd kind of gotten away from the frivolous sewing and sewing frosting. And sometimes it's fun just to pull stuff out of your stash that's been there forever, nice stuff, and to sew some frosting. So they put on this Sew Frosting Challenge, which ends this Friday. So today, the day that you're actually seeing this, I'm actually filming this a few days prior. And I'm coming in right at the deadline. So I have 3 looks to show you. One look has been done since the end of October because I actually wore it to a wedding. And the other 2 looks you voted on actually a couple videos ago. And I have those finished and I have nothing planned for those, which really makes this frosting because I have no plans to wear these. They're going to be in my closet for those special times. Just for like a night out, just dinner out, why not wear your nicest stuff? So I'm going to go through each look with you and talk a little bit about the details, and then I'll put pictures of me in the outfits twirling around as I talk. So look number 1. Okay, I did a skirt and top for my cousin's wedding. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen this outfit, but I made up Simplicity 8743, and I did this view here, which I think is view A. This is a legitimate, ball skirt. This skirt is no joke. I was kind of thinking it would be, something simple for the wedding, but dramatic. And no, this was like a legitimate, prom dress ball skirt. And I have it here with me, and I'm just throwing that on the ground. Hold on, let me get the skirt. So I made this out of this gorgeous abstract taffeta that I got from Textile Fabrics in Nashville when I was there for my spontaneous vacation with my husband, where it was supposed to be Florida and ended up Nashville. So this skirt is very heavy. It has pleats in the front, which I love. They get a little lost in this fabric, but they add so much drama and wonderfulness. It also has pockets somewhere in the side seams. That was super useful, especially for the wedding. It was an outdoor reception, like in a tent, at the first weekend of November. And yeah, it's got these pockets that I have lined in the lining fabric. Nope, that's the skirt fabric. I guess just the skirt's fabric. That I lined in the skirt fabric. This is horribly crushed because it made it all the way to Southwest Missouri and back. And now it's just been in my guest room closet. I underlined all of the taffeta with cotton lawn. Now this is to help. Taffeta crushes. Oh, I have food on it too. So this clearly needs to go see the cleaners. So I underlined the whole thing with cotton lawn just to give it some structure. Taffeta crushes so easily. In fact, you can hardly press it. I did not press in any of these pleats. I hit it with the steamer, my steamer, when I was finished sewing it, but I did not press any of the pleats because it has been my experience, and also when I worked in the bridal workroom, just not to press pleats. It's best to hit it with, soft pleats, nothing too crisp with taffeta. I did a blind hem all the way around, and I did bias binding, and this is actually the tape I made for my men's, the bias binding from the men's tie. This was the tie that I cut up for that tutorial, and it worked perfectly with this fabric. Then, okay, so that's the first layer. So there we have 2 skirts cut out, one in the cotton lawn, one in the taffeta. Then you have this layer of netting that is, well, I guess it doesn't attach. It just attaches to the lining, but it is gathered netting to help give it some poof. And then you've got the lining here that is flat at the top and then gathered at the bottom to help give the skirt some structure. This skirt, so dramatic. I actually had just also purchased this lining. I did a lining fabric haul. It was all lining was like $1.99 on a while ago on Fabric Mart Fabrics, and they were just having one of those one-day sales, and I bought a whole bunch, and I just picked this up because I liked the color and ended up going with the skirt beautifully, so win there. It's got a nice wide waistband with a zipper at the side, an invisible zip in the side that kind of in the pocket, and then just a hook and an eye at the waistband. And then it comes with this sash that you tie around for the bow. Very dramatic. I absolutely love this skirt. And there's some lipstick in the pocket still from the wedding at the end of November. Anyway, this one, I got so many compliments on this. I definitely recommend this pattern. If you want to add some drama to any outfit, but be comfortable, yeah, this simplicity pattern is the way to go. So definitely. And then I paired it with my favorite, Megan Nielsen. I'll pop a picture because I have the PDF of this pattern. My Rowan. It's another Rowan in this gorgeous aqua rayon knit that I also got at Textile Fabrics when I was there in Nashville. So those fabrics were purchased to go together. So there's that. Again, you should have been seeing me twirling. Okay, now the next two patterns, you guys kind of helped me decide what I was going to do. So let's start with, I had the navy cotton velveteen with the polka dots that I've had for a while. It does have stretch in it. I didn't think it did, but it does have stretch. I got it at the fabric store, I think back like last January. Like they had done a semi-annual sale where everything was 20% off, I think, and I purchased it then, not knowing what I was going to do with it. So that's kind of what I thought. This whole challenge was about finding those special pieces of fabric in your stash and using them, not just letting them languish in your stash. Now you can actually wear them. And I kind of always in the back of my mind thought like a tuxedo jacket for that fabric, just something very, again, dramatic, a lot of texture. And I had shown you this pattern, which is Butterick 6523. And I wanted to do this view, and then I talked about maybe doing the view with the contrast lapels, and almost everyone that commented said, yes, do the satin contrast lapels. Like, that's definitely the way to do. And then someone else had posted, because I'd also mentioned like a pair of like wide leg tuxedo pants, and someone had posted, yeah, that would be awesome, and you could, you know, wear them, they don't have to be worn together all the time, which is totally what I'm all about. Like, you could definitely, sorry, I have a hair in my eye. You could definitely wear them separately to where you could almost casual them up a little bit, like for a girls' night out and that kind of thing. So I ended up making this view with the contrasting collar, and I'll show you here. And I'll pop pictures of me wearing it. Oh, sorry. Should have been more prepared. So here she is. Sorry, I've got the pants hanging here with her. Here she is. I chose this like royal blue satin. Originally, I went in looking for a dark, this is like a midnight navy, a dark navy to match, and I couldn't find one. And so then as I was in the fabric store, I was thinking, you know what, why not do something more that pops? And I love this, like, it's more of like a cobalt slash royal blue, because it makes my eyes look blue. I have gray eyes, almost like a light grayish, tealish eyes, and so they can change color with what I wear. So I thought that would be awesome. So I did do the lapels in the contrasting satin. It's got the patch pockets. It is an unlined jacket, and I just serged my seams, nothing fancy. I did blind hems on the sleeves and on the hem of the jacket, and then I finished off my facings with navy bias binding, and this was just, I bought the satin blanket binding from Joann's, and it's super wide. I don't know, like maybe 2 or 3 inches wide. So I just cut to the width that I needed because I wanted satin and not the cotton, and I really didn't want to make my own. I was kind of on a time crunch. So there she is. And this isn't really more of a, this is more of a, I mean, it's got the shawl collar, kind of like a tuxedo jacket, but I would really call this more of like a smoking jacket, like a man's smoking jacket from the 20s is kind of the style, and I love this. And then I made the tie that is here in my lap as well to go with it. So hopefully you're seeing me wear this. And then with the idea of the tuxedo pants, I had so much fun with this challenge, guys. With the idea of the tuxedo pants, I was going through and trying to decide if I wanted a wide leg pant. And I have some wide leg pants now, and I was trying to think, okay, what would I want to wear apart from the jacket, like, you know, as its own, with just like a t-shirt or a turtleneck. We all know how I love turtlenecks. Anyway, this pattern came to my mind, and it is Simplicity 8698. It's fairly new, like maybe the fall or end of summer, I don't know, early fall, maybe one of their pattern lines. So I pulled this out, and I'm like, oh yes, it's like a track pant. Like, instead of a tuxedo fancy pant, I should do a track pant. So then I was going through between, did I want to do the tapered leg or the wide leg? And I, in the end, decided to do the tapered leg because it has a cool, like, ankle detail at the bottom. I love how these turned out, and they are so comfortable. So I used the same fabric as the lapels, and it is a crepe back satin. So the inside of these pants is the satin. It's so comfortable. It feels like silk. And there are my stripes. I just did them on the front. I decided it would look a little more tuxedo and less track pant if I just did it on the front, because the pattern actually calls for you doing it, you know, a stripe here and then a stripe on the back panel too for the kind of like a track pant, but because that's what it is. But I decided more tuxedo pants. So these have pockets, super comfy. I was able to find a satin trim there at Joann's that matches this like perfectly for the drawstring. It has different channels for the elastic, so comfortable. And then it has these fun little like split hem detail at the bottom. For these stripes, so I used just the fabric, but what I did is I loosely cut strips of the fabric, and then I used double stick tape, and I had some 7/8 inch wide Petersham ribbon in my stash that I bought from a shop in, we were in Philadelphia, and I got like ridiculous, they were weird colors, but ridiculous price for rolls of Petersham ribbon and like varying widths. So anyway, this is like a weird blue color ribbon, but I just used double stick tape and stuck the fabric to the tape or to the ribbon, and then went over the sides and stuck it again and used the double stick tape to stick it to the pant and then sewed it down, and it worked like a dream. So then I have like consistent 7/8 wide stripes, and they have the support of the Petersham behind it. So it kind of gives a little added support, because these pants otherwise are very like drapey and flimsy. Anyway, I'm so happy with how these turned out, and I'm totally gonna make, I need a light heathered gray turtleneck to wear with these. So that is on my list of things to do this winter, along with everything else. But anyway, so happy with this pants. So thank you to, and I'd have to look at the comments again, who suggested to do the track pant or the tuxedo pant. This was genius. And she even suggested a pair of like Stan Smith tennis shoes, which is also genius. And that's been on my wish list forever as well. So that's look number 2. That hasn't been worn yet out of the house, but I can't wait. Okay, last look is my zebra print silk, and I deviated from this. So I had put a few patterns, and I'll pop a link. This was my plans for my closet case mini capsule, but I talk about this at the end of the video, and I'll pop a card for that video up here. But I put up some patterns as ideas for this last fabric, which is the zebra print, the grape silk zebra print with the gold, you know, the stripes, zebra stripes are in the gold, I guess Lurex. But anyway, I had put up some patterns, and the fitted sheath with like the ruffle in the front was, I think, the winner as far as people guessing. But then someone had posted, it's such beautiful fabric, you should just do something with as little seams as possible and let the fabric shine. So I like marinated on that for a while, and I'm just like, yes, that's exactly what I should do. So I made myself a shift dress. Like, very 1960s shift dress. Oops. And I'm gonna show you the pattern here in a second. I used 2 different patterns. This is a shift dress that I've made before, and I've like perfected the fit on it. And it looks like nothing on the pattern. I'll show it to you here in a second. But this is just a simple, really short shift, but I added dramatic sleeves to it. I feel very 1960s in this. I absolutely loved how this turned out. So these, well here, let me show you the patterns. Okay, so this is the shift dress pattern. And again, I have made this 2 or 3 other times. It is so unassuming on the front. This is Mccall's 6102. I'm not sure if this is still in print or not. This was one of those that I was like scrolling through one of their sales like online and was looking for a shift dress pattern and came across this, and I didn't look. I was just kind of looking and totally looked over it until I went back and was looking at the line drawings. Now, for some reason the back of this pattern only shows just like the back line drawings. And I was like, you know what, that actually might. Okay, so I've been interrupted a few times trying to film this video. But anyway, this is the shift dress pattern. I think I've just talked about that, but this is the shift dress pattern that I used. Again, I've made it a couple iterations, a couple with sleeves, a couple sleeveless. So what I did was I have these Simplicity, and I'm not even sure, hold on. I've got like the display number, which is not the correct number. So this is actually Simplicity 8506 is this actual number. And these are a whole bunch of vintage sleeves that they released. In fact, they just released another one, 8695. Oh, that's upside down. 8695, which are a whole bunch of other sleeves. So the premise behind these is that they have got a bodice front and back block in the pattern. And you match that bodice block up to any bodice block you want. You could actually sew those bodice blocks as is, and you could use them that way, or any bodice. I mean, literally the options for this is endless. I've had these for a while, and this is the first time I've pulled them out, and I'm totally hooked. So you match up, well, okay. So for instance, this is the sleeve pack that I used for this. You have some sleeves that just fit into the arm's eye. So basically you're just matching the top of the shoulder point for the pattern that you're wanting to use with this template, and then making sure swinging out the bottom, you know, where it connects us to the side seam, to your side seam of your pattern. So I was basically creating the arm's eye, the front and back, so where I could do one of these sleeves. Now you do have some of these sleeves, like this one where it comes into the neck, or this one where it comes in, where you have different cutting lines, but it's all, you know, you pick your size. I sew a 14, and the shift dress pattern is a Mccall's pattern, but this still worked just fine. So some of these are regular arm size, but see, some of these just kind of come in and have a different, like, whole different look. And I'm not sure. I would have to play around to even figure those out, really. But with the ones that just fit into a regular arm's eye, I did this View D. So this is kind of, and basically I was just trying to pick one that would work with the fabric, because I did have limited fabric for this dress. I loved this sleeve though. I thought it was very 60s-esque, and it's got these tucks in the top of the sleeve that get lost a little bit on my fabric because it's so busy, but it gets so much drama. I love this. And let me show you. So that's the sleeves that I put onto this one. So I just modified the arm's eye on that pattern. Here's the sleeve, and you can see these gorgeous tucks right here that go into the fullness on the side, and it's so flattering, and hopefully you've been seeing pictures of me in this. I lined the dress, the whole bodice, and just basically cut out a front and back in the lining, made it an inch shorter than the regular dress, sewed it into the invisible zipper. There's an invisible zipper here on the back, and this is just a Bimberg that I had in my stash. And then for the sleeve, I sewed the, I lined the whole thing before I put the sleeves on, basted the armhole, the arm's eye together, the lining and the bodice of the dress fabric, and then put the sleeve in, so those were treated as one, and then just serged around. So I did not line the sleeves because I wanted them to have some looseness and some body. But I love how they turned out. So hopefully you've been able to see me wearing this. And I am so pleased with this dress. Again, another gorgeous fabric I had in my stash that was just languishing in my stash. And this challenge just made me create this gorgeous dress. This would be a great New Year's Eve dress. Just a night out type dress. I just love its 60s flair. And again, I used my sleeve pattern, and you could change up any basic dress, top, whatever, with any of these wonderful sleeves. And I've got 2 of those. So I hope they release some more of those, because that is a lot of fun. And then you don't have to draft your own sleeve. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, the whole sew frosting and seeing everything that I've been up to. So now from here on out, I am going to go back to my mini capsule, the closet case pattern. So you should be having maybe a couple of tutorials that'll be coming up on that here soon. And then hopefully the finished, let's see, I have 2 things finished, 2 more cut out, and then I have a couple of hacks that I'm doing, including I've changed my plans a little bit, and I think I'm going to do a Kelly anorak. And I kind of thought about filming a little bit of that process, like someone had mentioned it's interesting to see like how I pick my fabric and my notions and everything else. So maybe almost like a video of me going through the whole process. Not really a sew along because I won't go through the steps because Heather Lou has so many fantastic sew alongs on her blog for that jacket anyway. But it could be a time lapse type video of me just going through making that that dress. One moment. Okay, so I have a sick kid at home today, and the interruptions have been, why am I even trying to film today? But anyway, if you guys are interested in kind of seeing the process of the Kelly Anorak, just let me know, leave comments, and I can definitely film that as I make it. I'm waiting on some Thinsulate to come so soon because I'm going to quilt my lining. So as soon as that comes in, I will get started on that as well. So that's it for today. Next week, I know on Tuesday I will have my OWAP, the 1 week 1 pattern roundup. So you have that to kind of look forward to for Tuesday. And then I think Friday is going to be a little tutorial on something that I'm doing for my closet case mini capsule. So that is it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.